Most people think arthritis begins slowly, with age, genetics, or years of wear and tear. But after more than 30 years caring for patients over 60, I've seen something surprising again and again. Many people unknowingly start damaging their joints within seconds of waking up. A simple morning habit, one that takes less than half a minute, can quietly place extra stress on knees, hips, and ankles before the body is ready. One of my patients, a 69-year-old man, told me his knees felt perfectly fine when he went to bed. But every morning, the moment he got out of bed, a sharp stiffness appeared. At first, it lasted only a few seconds. Months later, that stiffness became constant pain. What shocked him was learning that the problem wasn't something complicated. It was a small mistake he repeated every morning without thinking. And before we talk about that mistake, you need to understand what really happens to your joints during the night while you sleep. 1. Your joints are weakest right after you wake up. While you sleep, your body rests deeply, but your joints also enter a long period of stillness. For 6 or 7 hours, your knees, hips, and ankles barely move. The small layers that cushion your joints grow stiff, and the gentle fluid that helps them move smoothly slows down during the night. This is why many people over 60 notice the same strange feeling in the morning. When they first wake up, their joints feel tight, heavy, almost as if the body needs time to remember how to move again. In younger years, the body adjusts quickly. Muscles are flexible, joints are strong, and the body warms up almost instantly. But as the years pass, the joints become more delicate. The cushions inside them thin slowly, and the tissues around them lose some of their softness. That means the first moments after waking up become one of the most sensitive times of the entire day. I remember a patient named Mrs. Helen, a gentlewoman who was 72. She once told me that every morning felt the same. When she first woke up, she felt comfortable lying in bed, but the moment she stood up and took her first steps, her knees felt stiff and slightly painful. At first, she thought it was simply part of getting older. Many people think that way. They believe morning stiffness is normal and nothing to worry about, so they ignore it. But over time, the stiffness began lasting longer. What once disappeared after a few steps slowly turned into pain that followed her throughout the day. When we talked about her morning routine, one detail stood out. Like many people, she woke up and immediately stood up from bed without giving her body a moment to adjust. What most people do not realize is that the joints need a short transition from rest to movement. After a long night of stillness, the tissues around the joints are not yet ready to support the full weight of the body. Think of an old wooden door that has not been opened for hours. If you push it suddenly and hard, the hinges protest. But if you move it gently first, it begins to glide more smoothly. Your joints behave in a very similar way. The quiet hours of sleep leave them stiff and unprepared, and those first seconds of movement are when they are most sensitive. This is why what you do in the very first moments after waking up can make a surprising difference for your joint health. And unfortunately, many people over 60 make a small mistake during those first seconds, one that quietly places extra pressure on their joints before the body is ready. In the next part, I want to show you exactly what that mistake is and why it can slowly damage your joints over time. 2. The 30-second morning mistake that strains your joints. Now let's talk about the small mistake many people make without even noticing it. After waking up, they swing their legs off the bed and stand up immediately. It happens in seconds. The body moves from lying down to carrying its full weight almost instantly. For years, this may seem harmless, so most people never question it. But in the morning, your joints are still stiff from the night. The tissues around your knees, hips, and ankles have not warmed up yet. When you suddenly stand and begin walking, those joints are forced to handle your full body weight before they are ready. Imagine bending a branch that has been still and cold all night. If you move it slowly, it bends smoothly. But if you force it quickly, the strain is much greater. Our joints react in a very similar way. This is something I see often in my older patients. One man I cared for, Mr. Daniel, was 70 years old and very active. He loved gardening and walking every morning. Yet he came to see me because his knees had started hurting soon after he woke up each day. At first, the pain lasted only a few minutes. Then it began lasting longer. Eventually, it followed him through most of the morning. When I asked about his routine, he described something very simple. His alarm would ring, he would sit up quickly, stand right away, and walk straight to the kitchen to start the coffee. It seemed like such a small thing, but when we talked about his mornings in detail, it became clear that his joints were taking the full load of his body before they had time to loosen and adjust. Over time, repeating this sudden movement every morning can place extra pressure on the thin layers that protect the joints. Those layers are meant to glide smoothly, but they need gentle movement first to wake up. Without that small moment of preparation, the joints experience stress right when they are most vulnerable. This is why many people notice a familiar pattern. The first steps in the morning feel stiff, sometimes even painful. After walking for a few minutes, the body slowly loosens up and the discomfort fades. That early stiffness is not random. It is often the body quietly telling you that the joints were pushed too quickly from rest into movement. The good news is that this problem does not require a complicated solution. In fact, the change is surprisingly simple. By giving your joints just a short moment to wake up before standing, you can reduce much of that early strain. And in the next part, I want to show you a gentle morning habit that helps your joints wake up safely, something that takes less than a minute but can make a real difference over time. 3. Give your joints one gentle minute before standing. So if standing up quickly can place stress on your joints, what should you do instead? The answer is surprisingly simple. Your body needs a short moment of gentle movement before it carries your full weight. Just one quiet minute can help your joints wake up slowly and safely. When you first open your eyes in the morning, resist the urge to jump out of bed. Stay lying down for a moment. Let your body adjust to being awake again. Then begin with very small movements. Move your feet slowly, as if you are drawing small circles with your toes. Bend your knees gently and straighten them again. Wiggle your ankles. These movements may seem tiny, but they help the joints begin to loosen after the long stillness of the night. Think of it like warming your hands on a cold morning. You do not force them open and closed quickly. You move them slowly until warmth returns. I once cared for a patient named Mr. Harold, who was 74. For years, he struggled with stiffness in his hips every morning. His first steps out of bed always felt heavy and uncomfortable. One day, I asked him to try something very simple. Before standing up, he would spend about a minute moving his feet and bending his knees gently while still lying in bed. Nothing complicated, just slow, relaxed movements. 2 weeks later, he came back with a smile. He told me something had changed. The stiffness was still there when he woke up, but it faded much faster. His first steps no longer felt sharp or uncomfortable. The body seemed to wake up more smoothly. What changed was not medicine or treatment. It was simply giving his joints time to prepare. When these gentle movements happen, the joints begin to warm up. The soft layers inside them start moving again, and the muscles around them slowly wake up. By the time the body stands, the joints are no longer cold and stiff. This small habit may seem almost too simple to matter, yet over months and years, it can make a quiet difference in how your joints feel each morning. Many people over 60 believe that pain and stiffness are unavoidable parts of aging. But often the body is simply asking for a slower transition between rest and movement. Instead of forcing your joints awake, you allow them to wake up naturally. And once the body has had that short moment to adjust, there is one more gentle step that can protect your joints even further before you begin your day. In the next part, I want to show you that final step and why it can help your joints stay stronger for many years to come. 4. Why? Sitting before standing protects your knees. After your joints have had that first gentle minute of movement, there is one more step that many people overlook. It may seem small, almost too simple to matter, but it can make a real difference for your knees and hips. Before you stand up, sit at the edge of your bed for a short moment. Do not rush. Place your feet on the floor, rest your hands beside you, and simply sit there for a few seconds. Let your body feel the change from lying down to sitting. During that quiet pause, something important is happening inside your body. Your joints are adjusting. Your legs begin to carry a little weight again. The muscles around your hips and knees slowly wake up and prepare to support you. Without this small pause, the body moves too quickly from complete rest to full weight. That sudden change can place unnecessary strain on joints that are still stiff from the night. I remember a patient named Mr. Robert, who was 73 and lived alone. Every morning, he hurried out of bed as soon as his alarm rang. He liked to start his day quickly, but over time, he began to notice a sharp stiffness in his hips during his first few steps. At first, he thought it was simply age, but one morning, he nearly lost his balance as he stood up too quickly. That moment frightened him enough to bring it up during his visit. I asked him to try a very small change. After waking up and moving his feet gently in bed, he would sit at the edge of the bed for about 20 seconds before standing. 2 weeks later, he told me something interesting. The first steps of his morning no longer felt as heavy. His hips felt steadier, and the stiffness faded more quickly. Nothing dramatic had changed. He had simply given his body time to transition from rest to movement. This quiet moment at the side of the bed works like a bridge between sleep and activity. It allows your joints to shift gradually instead of all at once. Your knees, hips, and ankles are no longer shocked by sudden pressure. Instead, they receive it little by little, which helps them move more smoothly when you finally stand. Many people rush through their mornings without realizing that the body prefers a slower start. When we respect that natural rhythm, the joints respond with less strain and less discomfort. And once you are sitting comfortably and your body feels steady, there is one final thing you should do before taking your first real steps of the day. In the next part, I want to show you that final habit and how it helps protect your joints for the long run. 5. Your first steps of the day matter more than you think. After sitting for a few seconds at the edge of the bed, many people believe the difficult part is over. They place their feet on the floor, stand up, and immediately begin walking as they normally would. But those first few steps of the day are more important than most people realize. Even after gentle movement in bed and a short pause while sitting, your joints are still adjusting. The knees, hips, and ankles are slowly waking up from the long stillness of the night. If the first steps are rushed, the body once again places sudden pressure on joints that are not fully ready. Instead, the first steps of the morning should be slow and steady. Stand up calmly, pause for a brief moment, and then take a few quiet steps. Let your feet touch the floor softly. Allow your body to feel balanced before moving faster. Think of it as the final part of waking up your joints. I remember a woman named Mrs. Linda who was 70. She told me that every morning her knees felt stiff during the first few steps to the bathroom. The stiffness would fade after a few minutes, but those first moments were always uncomfortable. When we talked about her routine, she admitted that she usually hurried through those first steps because she wanted to start the day quickly. I suggested a simple change. After standing up, she would pause for a moment and then walk slowly for the first few steps of the day. A few weeks later, she returned and told me something surprising. The stiffness was still there when she woke up, but her first steps no longer felt sharp or unpleasant. Her knees seemed to adjust more gently, and the discomfort faded much faster. Nothing in her health had changed. The only difference was the way she began her morning movement. The body often sends quiet signals that it needs a slower start. When we rush those first steps, we ignore those signals, but when we move gently, the joints have time to adjust and work smoothly again. This is especially important after the age of 60, when the joints become more sensitive to sudden pressure. A calm start to the morning may not seem powerful, yet these small moments add up over months and years. Protecting your joints rarely requires dramatic changes. More often, it begins with simple habits that respect the natural rhythm of the body. And when you combine gentle movement in bed, a short pause while sitting, and slow first steps, you create a morning routine that supports your joints instead of straining them. In a moment, we will bring all of this together and talk about why these small choices each morning can make such a meaningful difference for your joints as the years go by. 6. Conclusion: the small morning habit that can protect your joints for years. Growing older teaches us something very important about the human body. Strength does not disappear all at once. It fades quietly, little by little, often in ways we do not notice at first. The joints that carried us through decades of work, walking, and daily life slowly become more delicate. They still serve us faithfully, but they ask for something in return: patience, care, and understanding. Many people believe arthritis appears suddenly, as if it arrives without warning. In reality, the body often whispers long before it begins to shout. Morning stiffness, heavy first steps, the feeling that knees or hips need time to loosen, these are not random inconveniences. They are small messages from the body asking for a gentler start. Throughout this video, we talked about something surprisingly simple. Not medicine, not complicated treatment, but the way you begin your morning. The body moves from deep rest to full activity every single day, and how we guide that transition can shape the health of our joints over time. When you wake up and allow your body a moment to move gently in bed, you are giving your joints a chance to wake up slowly. When you sit for a few seconds at the edge of the bed, you allow your body to adjust before placing full weight on your knees and hips. And when your first steps are calm and steady, your joints begin the day supported instead of strained. These actions may seem small. In fact, they take less than a minute. But small habits repeated every day have a quiet power. Over the course of months and years, they can influence how your joints feel, how comfortably you move, and how confidently you walk through life. Think about the years ahead. 1 year from now, 5 years from now, you will still want to move freely. You will want to walk through the park, stand comfortably in your kitchen, visit family, travel, or simply enjoy daily life without pain limiting every step. Protecting that future does not always require dramatic changes. Often it begins with simple respect for the body you have today. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It deserves a gentle start each morning. If this video helped you understand how to protect your joints in the morning, please take a moment to support the channel. Click the like button so more people over 60 can discover this information and take better care of their health. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos designed to help you stay active, mobile, and independent as the years go by. I would also love to hear from you. In the comments, tell me what your first habit is when you wake up each morning. And if you know someone who struggles with morning joint pain, please share this video with them. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember this moment. Do not rush. Give your joints the few quiet seconds they need. Move slowly, sit calmly, and take those first steps with care. These small choices may seem ordinary, but over time they can become one of the most meaningful gifts you give to your future health.